I think whether you're working with the Reaktor blocks, you're working with Bazille, or you have a modular synthesizer at home, it fundamentally comes down to understanding your inputs, your outputs, and really breaking down those basic modules and knowing what they do. Is this a sound generator? Is this a filter? Is this filter capable of, say, actually getting a tone out of it? For example, I could, just as an experiment, and if you don't know anything about filters, you're going to be like, well, why is this working? But it does. If I take the output of the low pass and I bring up the resonance really, really high, we can get this to self-oscillate. And then the cutoff is actually determining this sine wave relative, right? So I'm not hitting different keys. And so what would happen if then I took an oscillator's output and had that modulate the cutoff? Really cool, right? It would probably be worth plugging something in here, right? And then maybe still go in and take this even further. Turn key tracking on. So what I'm just trying to show you here is it's very simple to generate totally out there timbres, and in some cases actually quote unquote misuse the modules, but you can never misuse them because you have the ability to make those patching connections yourself. So I know I never really went in and talked about the sequencer, and I didn't really talk about some of these other output slots that you can use. For example, you can run pink noise into something or white noise into something and hear how that kind of works. There's even like a random output plus voltage, and then connections to these maps, and also a couple of additional ramps that you have access to. But at the end of the day, it's really not that crucial that I go over each and every component of this instrument with you. It's about understanding modular and kind of a bigger context. And just to show you, I think, how cool this instrument is, I took maybe 15, 20 minutes and made a couple of patches, and we can listen to how those go. So this is AM modulation based. So you remember I talked about using the AM. Very simple setup here. And a pretty cool sound. Turn it up a little bit. Right, something like that took me maybe 5 or so minutes to create. And here's another example of just one oscillator, that being the output source. We are going into a filter though, but you can see how this oscillator, there's a lot going on here, and we can take a listen to this. Sequencer also gets put into use on this one, I believe. The other great thing is that when you play up and down octaves here, especially when you have things that are kind of messing with either the tuning, or if you're going into the PM course, for example, you can really, really get some just amazing results that are so dependent on the pitch that you are actually triggering in. So if you're going up one octave, even within that octave, every single note you hit will be a little bit different. And I think that's where this instrument really shines and kind of takes advantage of that modular idea and really takes it, I guess, over the top, or just to somewhere where we really like it. All right, so in the next video, we're going to be wrapping up this section and getting you all geared up for the week that you probably thought was going to kick off this course, only it's actually falling much later on, where we'll be talking about subtractive, wavetable, and all of that goodness.